Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. This is Tammy Morrison and the Small Business Network podcast, episode 61. And I'm here today because I wanted to talk a little bit about my podcast and the law of attraction and how I actually followed that when I started my podcast 5 years ago. So for many of you, those of you that know me or don't know me, my name is Tammy Morrison. I'm a TV radio personality. I'm also a spiritual entrepreneur. I'm a spiritual development coach. I love to help people to open up to their creativity and their spiritual gifts and to help them to develop those so that they can use them in their everyday life. These gifts we all have. I'm also a creator. I create Reiki infused jewelry like these that I have on. As well as wonderful spiritual bath soaks. I also am a creator of cannabis products. So I just love to create. And I'm also an author, 3 times published author. And this is one of my books, Walking Away, Winning the War Against Shame, Abuse, AIDS, and Abandonment. And that's me, y'all. And this is my first book, Unchain Me Mama, and it was an anthology. There were 9 of us that wrote in it, and I'm right there. And so we wrote about our mothers and different things that we went through as far as with our mothers, because I don't know if you know, a lot of times women, and especially women, have strange and crazy relationships sometimes with our mothers. I have some theories, but that's not what I'm talking about today. I just wanted to share that. And if you are interested in grabbing those, they are all on Amazon. But if you would like to have a signed copy of my book, Walking Away, reach out to me or comment below and I'll reach out to you. So that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about my podcast, Straight Outta Savannah, which I've been doing for now 5 years. And I didn't even realize how long I had been doing it. And for me, it had been a labor of love for a long time. And now I am moving into another space with it. When I started the podcast, it was something that God shared with me to create. And then first I want to read Psalms 23. And I'm reading it from the Message Bible because I love to study different religious texts. But I love the Message Bible because it brings it so plain. And when I read it today, because I try to read something every day, when I read it today, it got next to me because I realized that it is a law of attraction scripture actually. So Psalms 23 says in the Message, God my shepherd, I don't need a thing. You have bedded me down in lush meadows. You find me quiet pools to drink from. True to your word, you let me catch my breath and you send me in the right direction. Even when the way goes through Death Valley, I'm not afraid. When you walk at my side, your trusty shepherd's crook makes me feel secure. You serve me a 6-course dinner right in front of my enemies. You revive my drooping head. My cup brims with blessing. Your beauty and love chase after me every day of my life. I'm back home in the house of God for the rest of my life. Now, if that's not a law of attraction scripture, I don't know what is. And so for me, I have studied the Bible many, many times because my grandmother was a pastor and I actually went to ministry school at one time. So I've read the Bible many times. But I never realized until this day that was a law of attraction scripture. And so when I started my podcast, I got a word from Spirit to start a podcast. And so at first I thought, oh my God, I don't know anything about starting a podcast. I don't know if I can do this. I had all kinds of different ideas and different, fears and stuff, just like most of us when we get direction from God to start something. And so I just did. And so I was like, well, I don't have everything I need. I don't know, I don't even know what I need, and I, checked out some different podcasts. At that time, they only had a few people that were doing podcast instruction and things like that. And I think I did watch somebody's video, but it wasn't a lot. Like now, everybody's trying to teach about podcasting. So, but I learned from God. I learned from some different YouTube videos. You know, I call it YouTube University. And I just did what felt natural and came natural to me. So when I started it on Facebook Lives, and then I moved to YouTube. And so sometimes I would do Facebook Lives, and then I would upload it to YouTube. And so I started it on my YouTube channel basically. And then I moved forward and I started on Anchor FM. And, you know, to be honest, I was trying to do Buzzsprout or one of the other ones, and they were so complicated to me that I could not get that thing to work. So I decided, instead of, you know, procrastinating on it, I just kind of waited. And then I had a guest, beautiful, sweet guest. And she shared with me, she said, why don't you try Anchor? And I said, oh, I tried that before. Didn't really work. She said, well, I think they made some updates. She said, try it again. Hey, Princess On Mine, thank you for joining me. And so I was like, okay, yeah, this is what we're going to do. So I started it on Anchor, and it just started doing what it did. And I started sharing it, and it started taking off. And at that time, I interviewed all kinds of people. I interviewed authors. I interviewed a couple that does spices. I interviewed a girl that does lashes, which was phenomenal. I interviewed a young lady that has her own braid university. She was young, like 19 years old, I think, at the time. And so I enjoyed all of those interviews because I just love being able to talk to people. And when I started it, I did my show in the tradition of Super Soul Sunday and Impact Theory. And now I have added on Next Level Soul podcast because I have transitioned to interviewing spiritual entrepreneurs. Mostly. I did have a few people in there that I needed to interview because I just wanted to talk to them, and I needed for them to help them get their message out. And so I've been doing this, and I have enjoyed it, and I really do. And I realize now that it's one of the things that really was in my vortex for me to do, because one of the things that I used to get in trouble with when I was growing up is talking too much. That was my thing. And, you know, that was one of the ways that I used to get punished, was go to my room and be quiet. You know, and then that thing would upset me, you know, because I loved to talk. And so I realize now that that is one of the gifts that God gave me, because, you know, I don't know if you've watched any of my shows, but they are phenomenal. And I will drop the links in the comments so that if you haven't, you can go and watch something, and you can go listen to something, because it is on Spotify. It's on it started on Anchor FM. It's on Spotify. It is on Amazon Music. It is on iHeartRadio. It is on Apple and Google and Radio Now and Listen Now, Radio Breaker, Podbean. It's all over, so you can listen to it pretty much anywhere that you listen to your podcast. And I'm so proud of that. And so so that's one of the things I wanted to share, because I know that, you know, so many people are, you know, trying to decide whether or not they want to do a podcast, because these days, I mean, everybody's doing a podcast. My husband and I are also doing a podcast. Right now we do Sunday service with the Morrisons, but we're talking about beefing that up as well and doing maybe 2 shows, you know, in a week, because, you know, we enjoy it so much, and we get to help people. And we do it on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, join us for Sunday service with the Morrisons, and we just talk about couple goals and relationship goals. And we don't specify couples, because we believe that love is love, you know, and who am I to tell you who to love? And so we enjoy that. And so I'm really, really excited about this new year that's coming up, because so many things have transitioned for me, and I feel like I am in a major shift. One of the shifts is I joined the Small Business Network podcast, which I'm so excited about, because the opportunities are so vast with this network. So if you're interested in getting your show on TV or becoming a TV radio personality, you want to reach out to me and let's talk about it. And also, if you want to be interviewed for the Small Business Network podcast right here on Facebook, you can also reach out to me as well. I'm interested in doing a short interview, like 20 minutes, not really long, but just long enough for you to talk about who you are and what it is that you do. And if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, I would love to talk to you on Straight Outta Savannah. So, And Straight Outta Savannah premieres on my YouTube channel Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, and you can figure out your own time if you're outside any of those. I think Mountain is the next thing over or something. I can't remember. But yeah, so I love to do that. And I'm just so excited and so grateful for, this year passing, because I don't know about anybody else, but this has been a hell of a year. And I'm not one of those people that try to wish years away and wish time away, because I know that, you can get money before you can get more time. Let me say that again. You can always get more money, but you can't always get more time. Yes, the Small Business Network podcast. So I'm just so super grateful and super excited just to be on here and share today. I have had a journey this year. For those of you that don't know, I experienced long COVID, and it was horrendous. The only thing that I think wasn't as bad for me as some other people that I know was I didn't have to be on oxygen. But I did go through a lot, and I actually didn't work for a year. And I couldn't. My mind, my memory, my brain fog was so bad, the exhaustion was so bad, and I'm finally getting to the other side of it. I still experience some, but I don't even count it considering how it was before. Now at least I can think and put a sentence together and put a thought together, really. And I don't experience the exhaustion like I did. I still do have to monitor my energy, and so I do that. However, getting to on the other side of that after over a year, that has been huge for me. So I also am in the process of putting together a development circle. I want to say like an intuition development circle. And that is something that I want to do in order to help people to develop their gifts. And I want to do a membership, and I'm going to do it on my meetup. So if you're interested in that, intuitive development, I haven't nailed down all of the details yet, but I'm working on it. I'll have it probably done before the end of the year, so we can start in January. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, because that's something I love to do. And if you're in the Western Washington area, please reach out to me. We have a women's circle tonight, and it's going to be fabulous. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And if you're in Western Washington, we are actually in Everett, Washington, and that is where we're having the circle tonight. So I'm excited for that. I'm actually just subbing for somebody else in the circle, but we're going to have a good time. We're going to do a nice journey. We're going to talk about our spiritual gifts and, our intuition development and how to open them up and how to increase them. And, I have exercises prepared for you that you can take home as well. I'm going to share the links, and you can grab them. And that's going to be fabulous. And I'm super excited about that, because that's something that I love. I really do love doing that. I really, really do. So, but anyway, I shared about the law of attraction because I know that, when I think back on it, and when I realized that because I was that person that loved to talk when I was a child, and, and I was that person that, was always too much, and, was always, it's not that serious, that kind of stuff. And I realized that, and now I realize that was for purpose. That was for purpose. That was for this time, in this season, for me to be able to do these things that I am doing. To be able to help people to open up their gifts, and to be able to talk to people on my show, and be able to give them an opportunity and a platform to be able to share their message. And I specifically reached out to spiritual entrepreneurs, because I know that it's hard sometimes to get our messages out there, because there's so much backlash and so much fear and so much what's the word? So much hate. Let's go there. So I really have a desire to do that, and because I am a healer and I love to help people anyway, that's my mission and my goal. And I'm also an author of those three published books, And so I'm actually working on 2 more now. I am planning to finish up 1 before the end of the year, so I can publish it by sometime in the first part of next year. So because I've been working on it for a while, but as I said, I had long COVID, and that really affected me. You know, a lot of people had COVID and got over it and was done. For me, it wasn't that way. I had it, but it wasn't even bad. The COVID wasn't bad at all. It was the after effects for me. The COVID, it was like a bad cold, or maybe like a sinus infection. But the after effects were horrible. Horrible. And I am so grateful that I feel like I'm on the other side of it. You know, like I feel like I have energy again sometimes. You know, and I'm so excited I actually started back working out, because that was something that I miss, because I really am a person that likes to stay in shape. That's my thing. Because I believe that that kind of stuff will help us as we age. And y'all, I just turned 55, so I want to continue to look good. I want to look good up into my hundreds. I saw a lady the other day on YouTube, 91 years old, supermodel. Yeah, that part. Because you know what? We can all do it. We just have to take accountability for, you know, ourselves, and we have to take accountability for our actions. We have to take accountability for who we are and what it is that we do. You know, we have to take that accountability. You know, you can't just let life pass by. You know, you have to do something about your diet. If you got on too much weight, you need to just work on taking that off. You know, and anybody can do it. So, you know, we just have to stop making excuses and start somewhere. Even if you start 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's the same thing with meditation when I teach that. You can start with 1 minute. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 3 minutes. You know, and you don't have to sit cross-legged, you know, like a yogi and all this kind of stuff. No, you can do it. You can meditate while you are washing dishes. You can meditate while you are walking outside. You can meditate while you are swimming. You can meditate while you are getting a massage, which I think is the most amazing time to do it. I meditate when I get acupuncture, because you're laying there anyway. You can't go nowhere. So you might as well use that time to connect with your spirit team, and to, you know, get the clarity that you need, and to, you know, release the things that you need to release. Because when you're getting a massage, you're releasing stuff anyway. Same thing with acupuncture. It's energy work. So, you know, I'm just so grateful, and I'm just so excited, because, you know, I believe that things are looking up. Things are looking up, y'all. Things are looking up. And I actually put a post out the other day, or today, I think it was. I put a post out today that I just started a credit repair journey. And I'm looking for a couple of people to help with their credit. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. And I'm doing it for free. The only thing you have to pay for is your credit monitoring system. But otherwise, nothing. I'm not charging anything. I just need to practice. And I want to be a blessing. You know, and that's something that I've been all my life. That's something that I have no problem being. You know, but that's what I'm looking for. So if you are looking to improve your credit anyway, reach out to me, or comment, or send me a DM or whatever, and we can talk about it and see if it's something that, you know, you're interested in. You know, because it's, like I said, it's no cost to you except your credit monitoring, which I think might be $20 something a month or something. I can't remember. But it's not expensive, and it's not, you know, what people are charging, because I want to be able to perfect my craft, you know, before I start charging people. So again, I am so appreciative of everything, you know. And the one thing I've learned on this journey with the laws, the metaphysical laws, is you have to take accountability for that, even with your affirmations. Even with your affirmations. And this is something that I learned just yesterday. Even with your affirmations, you have to sometimes begin to shift them. Because, you know, sometimes people talk to me and they say, oh, I did affirmations, but they don't work. Well, they don't work because, for one thing, do you have the feeling behind them? Is the feeling behind them? You know, are you even believing what the hell you're saying? You know, do you have the feeling behind the affirmations? That is the thing. That's key. You have the feeling behind the affirmations. So if you don't have the feeling behind the affirmations, then you need to switch it and shift it to something that you can get behind. Something that will help to raise your vibrations. You know, people tell me all the time, oh, I can't meditate. I actually talked to a young lady yesterday about this. She said, oh, I can't meditate because I can't quiet my mind. I said, honey, I can't quiet my mind either. My mind's always going. I always have stuff going on in there. I said, but you just have to learn to allow those thoughts to just keep going. Don't focus on them. You know, begin to do that. But you have to start somewhere. You know, you can't just try one time and say, oh, I can't, it doesn't work, I can't do it. You know, you have to start somewhere. Same thing with affirmations. You know, you have to get affirmations that mean something to you. You know, like one that I started saying was, I see the opportunities where money exists for me, because I'm focused on abundance, and I'm focused on abundance in every area of my life. I recognize the places where abundance exists in my life. And I'm going to tell you, and one thing I had always said is I receive money daily, and I get money from the north, south, east, and the west. So it comes to me daily. And you know what's wild is every day I either find some money or I get some money. I've been getting checks in the mail, you know. I went on missingmoney.com. Have y'all been on there to find money? I found some money from a state I used to live in, 2 states I used to live in. I found some money for my husband in a state he used to live in. So go on missingmoney.com and put your information, your name in there, and see if you have any money, especially if you lived in different states, because you might have left a security deposit, or you might have left a deposit from your light bill or something like that when you moved. So you never know. So you just have to be open, and you have to stay in that place of vibration, that high vibration space. And I know it's not easy, and I'm not saying it like it is. I'm saying it like I know it is. Because sometimes it's difficult, you know. And one of the things that I also say is everything I touch turns to gold. And you know what's wild? I used to say that and say that and say that. But I'm at a space now where I believe it. I know that it is true. I know that it's true. And another thing is that'll help you is when you start looking to buy something, buy what you want. If it's not on sale, buy it anyway. If you have the money. I mean, I'm not telling you to go in debt, but I'm saying, you know, don't just automatically go to the sales rack. You know, go and look through and see what it is that you desire, and start getting what you want, because that will start to attract the prosperity and the abundance to you. You know, we have to get out of lack consciousness, you know, because we have to tell ourselves that we deserve what we desire. We deserve it. Nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. And then you have to realize and recognize that the prosperity is everywhere. It is everywhere. And when you start seeing that, now I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen in 20 seconds, you know, but as you say it and as you feel it and as you know it, then it is. It is. I'm telling you, I know this to be a fact, because I told you I have not worked in a year, and it has not, and I have not lacked. I've not lacked. And for me, that was a huge shift, because I don't think, have I ever been not working for a year since I was 14? Maybe when I had my second baby, because I was so sick. I almost died with him. And so I think I stayed home about a year with him. But that was it. And I was 22? Yeah. So since 22, I've never been off a whole year. Ever. In my lifetime. One time in my lifetime. And I didn't think I could do it. I really didn't. For the first probably few months, I was so worried all the time, and I could see it in my face, and I could feel it in my body. And I think that it helped to exacerbate some conditions, because I was holding on to that worry. And so once I got myself to a space, and once I started realizing that the abundance is all around me, I just needed to open my eyes so I could see it. And so when you get to that space where you can see it, and you know that the abundance is all around you, whether or not you have a damn dollar, but you know that abundance is all around you, and you know that abundance is your birthright. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about in every area. I'm talking about fulfillment of your soul. You know, moving into spaces that you didn't know you could move into. Doing things that you didn't know you could do. Creating things that you didn't know you could create. I'm telling you, I have created this year. I've created amazing Reiki infused jewelry. I've created bath soaks that take people to a spiritual dimension. It is so amazing. I've also created cannabis products, cannabis suppositories, and I'm working on some cannabis salve for pain. I have a few other ideas that I'm not going to speak on right now, but I'm so excited because I can feel the creativity oozing out of me. And this intuitive development circle, I can feel that it's going to be so amazing. We're going to meet on Zoom. I'm going to do it on my meetup, which I already have it, so I might as well use it. And, you know, invite people in to come and let's talk about and let's learn about our spiritual gifts. Let's do some exercising. Let's go on some journeys so that we can elevate to this space where we recognize that abundance is our birthright and that we are right here. So I pulled the surrender card as well for us as I transition off of this live, because it's time. But I want to thank you for joining me. Those of you that join and those of you that catch the replay, thank you. And those of you that are going to watch this on YouTube, because I'm going to put it on YouTube. But surrender to creativity is the card that I pulled for our surrender card, because I pull, typically every day, I pull a surrender card for myself. Because I want to know, what is it that I need to surrender? You know, what is Spirit calling me to surrender? And today it was surrender to creativity. Surrender to creativity. And it says, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So what that means to me is, it's time for you to open up. You know, just everything that I was just talking about. Open up to the abundance of creativity that you have. Because so many times we don't know that we have creativity. We don't know. And I believe that's the reason why we have to surrender to it. Because we don't know. We don't know that, you know, we don't allow our imagination to soar. Sometimes we're so bogged down with all of the shit that's going on in our life that we don't take the time to allow our imagination to soar. When do you take 5 minutes to just imagine? And I did a post earlier and I said that, you know, I feel this shift. And one of the songs that popped into my head, because I'm a song girl, because I am a singer, I sing. And so music is very important to me, and music is in my life. And so one of the songs that popped into my head was Kirk Franklin's Imagine Me. And so when I listened to that song, I turned it on and I listened and I thought, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did anybody get this when it came out? Because it's been out a long time. It's an old song. But did anybody get that? Imagine me. Imagine me. You know, imagine where you could be. Imagine where you desire to be. Imagine where you want to be. You know, are you going out and looking at houses if you want to buy a house? Are you going out and sitting your ass in a car that you want? You know, going to the car lot. It's free. They don't care. They don't know you're not going to buy that day. They don't know you don't have $5 to your name. They don't know. You know, you can walk through. I go walk through houses. Matter of fact, it might be something I'm going to do today. But I go and I walk through houses. I go and I walk through them. Sometimes I take pictures and I record because I'm house hunting. You know, I'm house hunting because that is my desire. Do you go to the store and just walk around and see what it is you want? You know, so that when your money shows up, you already know. You already know what you want. You know, do you sit down and just imagine yourself, you know, going on trips, on vacations? Do you imagine yourself with a business that is totally fueling your life in every way? It's abundant financially. It fills your soul. Do you imagine that? Because that is what really we're being called to do at this time, especially at this moment. We are in December of 2023, about to go into 2024. I never even believed I would see it, y'all. I mean, because you think about 2024, You know, from my time, I was born in 1968. You think about some damn Star Trek shit. It's like 2024. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know? And so, when you give yourself time and you give yourself space to imagine, I'm telling you, watch your life begin to change. And once you start becoming more aware, and I mean really start paying attention and looking at the signs that are showing up in your life, do you know how powerful that is? Oh my God. And then you start thinking as a wealthy person. Think as a wealthy person. Now, wealthy people, they don't go out and do stupid stuff with their money. You know, I know a few people that are wealthy than I am at this time. But I know that a lot of them, they like to go and shop in the thrift stores. You know, they're not going to just be, you know, going and, you know, they're not doing that. So you have to begin to put yourself in that space of wealth. You know, you have to begin to take your mind away from the mundane, the things that, you know, the silly stuff. You know, I feel like when we begin to elevate to that space where we can feel the freedom and we can feel the abundance, and you just know, and then you realize that everything you touch turns to gold, regardless of what it looks like. Because sometimes, y'all, it can look crazy as hell. Crazy. I know. I have seen some stuff, and I know that sometimes people think that I am delusional. And you know what? Sometimes I am. Because sometimes you have to be delusional in order to move forward in your life and get that abundance that is your birthright. It's your birthright. You were designed for that, regardless of where you are now. You know, once you begin to get out of lack consciousness and get into abundance conscious and begin to tell yourself, I deserve everything that I desire. Everything. Everything. Period. Period. They used to say period, ... I deserve period, right? I deserve it. I do. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody else says. And when you get that intentional, watch the shifts that come in your life. I'm telling you, I never dreamed that I would have a podcast for 5 freaking years. I never dreamed that. I never dreamed. And to be honest, I didn't even realize until last weekend that I did have a podcast until somebody asked me, and I actually looked it up. I said, oh my God, I've been doing this 5 years. You know, because I had gotten into a funk where, you know, I was just doing it. And I had to realize what a gift it was. And I had to realize what a blessing it was in my life to be able to do that and to be able to share stages with people all over the world. I've interviewed people in almost every country or continent, let's say that. I interviewed somebody in India. I interviewed somebody in Pakistan. I interviewed somebody in Australia. A couple of people in Australia, some in the UK. Lots of Canadians. Some in the Caribbean. I think, have I done Mexico? I think Mexico. Lots of people in the United States. And I think that's a gift to be able to do that. You know, and to be able to just speak to people in that way. And most of the, I mean, well, not even most, I'm saying all of the interviews were phenomenal in their own way. Some of them were phenomenal in one way, some phenomenal in another way, you know, but they're all phenomenal. And I had a good time doing it. And that to me is important. It's important to enjoy what it is that you do. So going forward, I am super excited about, you know, 2024 coming in. I'm grateful for December. Even though, you know, my month is over now. My husband celebrated my birthday all month, y'all. So amazing. I love that man. And so I just, you know, I'm just grateful. And I'm so excited, you know, just for the gift that is me. I'm excited for the gift that's me. And I'm excited for the abundance that the divine healing intelligence, the creator, that God bestowed upon me. And I'm here to tell y'all to begin to get excited about what God, the Creator, bestowed upon you. Get excited. Even if you can't see it. That's the thing. Because y'all know what faith is, right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So begin to get excited. Have that faith. Thank you, Dr. James, for joining me. So get excited, and begin to just move forward in your life. And if you want to come on the Small Business Network podcast, reach out to me. Send me a message or comment below. If you would like to come on Straight Outta Savannah and you are a spiritual entrepreneur, please also don't hesitate to reach out. I will drop the links in the comments to the podcast on Spotify and also to the YouTube channel, because they premiere on YouTube and they also are on Spotify and all those other places. So if you love Apple Podcasts, you can find it on Apple. And also, what else was I saying? Oh, and if you're interested also in intuitive development, if you know that you have gifts, you know that, you hear things, you see things, because there are so many. You have clairaudience, which is my strongest. I hear spirit all the time. Clairvoyance, where you have snippets and you see things. If you're claircognizant, where you just know something, and people don't even know how you know it, and you don't either. You're more than likely claircognizant. And if you feel things, and pretty much if you identify as a healer of any type, you're probably clairsentient, because you feel, goosebumps, in situations. Or for me, like, you start recognizing where you feel fear. Like for me, I feel fear mostly in my stomach, sometimes in my heart chakra. So, different things. And so as you begin to understand that about yourself, then you'll be able to connect with your spiritual team easier, and you'll be able to move forward more in your life, because you'll understand the messages that are coming to you. The messages that are automatically flowing to you and through you. And I'm not talking about, being a reader or a psychic or anything like that. I'm talking about just using them in your everyday life. You can use those in your job. My husband does. Something will just hit him and he'll know, and he'll share it at his job. And something about where he works, and I can't say, but it'll come to him, and he just knows, because he knows how to use that particular gift. He's had it all his life, and most of us have. Sometimes we're afraid of it, and that's another thing, so I'm super excited about all of those things. So if you are interested in any of that, please reach out to me. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, or whatever it is for you. Make sure that you are living in abundance. Make sure that you are moving in ways that you desire. Make sure you're understanding that everything you touch turns to gold. And make sure that you're creating affirmations that work for you. Affirmations that you fucking even believe. Affirmations that feel good to you. Because that really is the key. Because y'all know what? Neville Goddard says the feeling is the secret. And I didn't understand that the first 100 times I read that book. And listened to the video on YouTube. I didn't understand it probably the first 100 times. And one day it just hit. It clicked. I said, oh my God, the feeling is the secret. Because I couldn't understand. I was saying affirmations. I was doing my stuff. I was meditating. I was going out in nature. I was grounding and all these things. And I couldn't see anything shifting in me. I couldn't feel anything shifting in me. Because for me, being clairsentient, I have to feel stuff. I need to feel it shifting inside of me. And that's how I know that the feeling is the secret. It's the secret. And I'm not trying to oversimplify. I'm really not. Because I know that it is difficult. Because I've been on this journey now for a while. And like I said, I'm having aha moments even now. And I've been on this journey for a while. Probably, I would say, going on 10 years now. This particular journey. However, and I'm still having aha moments even today. And I am open to receive. And that's another thing. If you get in your space and you are open to receive, you get open to receive, because so many times we're closed off. We can't even receive if we wanted to, because we're shut down. And so you get in that spot and you get in that space and you're like, okay, yes, I'm here. I am here. And you don't let nothing stop you, because I'm telling you, woo, things will try. They'll try. But you get yourself in that vibration where none of that stuff matters. It just rolls off your back, or you just shake it off. You shake, rattle, and roll. Just keep on moving. I used to have a song back in the day that said, keep on moving, don't stop, yo. Alright, so I'm going to get off here, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. And again, this has been Tammy Morrison with the Small Business Network Podcast, episode 161. So make sure that you follow us on YouTube as well, the Small Business Network Podcast. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. And have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, whenever you catch this. And if you are watching it on the replay, make sure that you hit hashtag replay and, let me know that, what your aha moment was from this particular live. So again, thank you for joining. Bye now.